Hello everyone and welcome along to the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. It's ILR1 and it's round 12 of the World Championship. Oh, hold on a second folks, I'm going to change this so I'm in a party. I'm not in a party at the moment. My mistake. That was a silly error, that one. And there we are, now we're in a party. Yes folks, apologies for that. Welcome along to the Italian Grand Prix at Monza, round 12 of the championship here in ILR1. Half an hour from the brilliant city of Milan. All the Tifosi fans flocking down to the Monza circuit for what will be a thrilling Grand Prix here today. The cars heading out onto the track. We're riding on board with VSR Maxi Luca as he slowly brings himself round onto a flying lap. And we'll have a look at a few cars out there on outlap at the moment. Maxi Luca, Johnny on 95 and Lickle all on outlaps at the moment. It will be of course a one-stop race you would expect if the weather is fine, as it is here today for qualifying. Unfortunately no Jamie with me today in the commentary box, which is a right shame, but I'm sure he will be back in the future. Falcon, as you can see on the left hand side, the only man who's chosen the soft tyres at this moment. And it's time for a quick look at the Drivers' Championships as well. It's Lewis on top with 159 points. He's a 23-point advantage over Michael in second. Gran has moved up into third place with 97 points, with Cliffy in fourth with 88. It's fifth position for Lickle Blocks on 79 points. It's Me is an impressive opening season in ILR1 for him with 65. Zero Mercedes has got 54 points in seventh. Falcon is 8th with 51 points. Matt Tibbos is 9th with 50 points, and Shim Massey rounds out the top 10 with 48. As we ride aboard Maxi, look at the back end really stepping out there on that McLaren as he begins a flying lap. And has he backed out of it already? He has, and that first chicane here at Monza can be a tricky one, and particularly on the brakes as Gran puts the first time on the board, a 1 minute 20.4, a pretty solid effort from the Force India man. As VSR Brady has retired from the session. I'm not sure if he is currently holding on to a qualifying ban. That might explain that, or has he been in the wall? No, he's retired in the pits, and that tells me all I need to know. He's probably serving a qualifying ban as Michael now goes fast as a ball with a 1 minute 20.185. It's Me's gone third quickest at a 120.8. Matt Tibbos in behind him. Shimasi after that, then Bugatti. Now we look at Jack Lacey rounding the final corner. The Parabolica up towards the line. What can he do in that Mercedes? He can go third quickest, a 1 minute 20.425 for him. So 17 runners here today. Good to see Michael and Lewis, the two title contenders, both here, as well as the men contending in behind that, like Gran, who of course is third in the championship. He's also here today, and that 1 minute 20.4 has him second at the moment in the standings. Now we look at Cliffy, another man that is really strong and has got the pace to win a few Grand Prix. Of course, fourth in the Drivers' Championship, 88 points on the board. And he dropped down from that third position in the championship last weekend when we were at Spa in Belgium. So here we go, down towards the Parabolica comes Cliffy, about to start a flying lap. And through the Parabolica he goes, and winding up now for a flying lap here at Monza. Just the 3 laps of fuel in his car, so he's going for one run, I would think, then into the pits. I don't think he'll have enough to go round again. It was an extremely fuel hungry circuit with all the straights. Not a lot of time to rest, to get foot off the throttle pedal, that's for sure. As Cliffy goes through that first chicane and does very well. It was really tidy from Cliffy as he now goes down towards Curva Grande. Used to be a challenge in the old days with the old Formula 1 cars, not so now. And these 2017 cars far superior to those that you used to have back in the 70s and 80s. And Cliffy heads through there and makes a little bit of a mistake going through that second chicane and ruins his lap. He immediately, as you can see, flicks his fuel into lean and will try to go again. Falcon has gone out there on a set of, well, he's been out there on softs, but he's now out there on super softs. So Falcon about to wind one up as I think Lickle's just gone up to third quickest on a 120.4. Indeed he has. So he now goes third quickest, and it's Gran second, one Force India second, the other one third. So impressive stuff for the Force India drivers at the moment. Jack Lacey is fourth, It's Me fifth, Bulletproof up to sixth place. That's a solid run from him, a man that has struggled all season long. Let's go and ride on board with Nowet, who is about to start a flying lap. We still wait for Lewis to put a time on the board, which is a bit surprising from him. Usually a man that gets a time on the board nice and early. and then tries to deliver once again later on in the session. Here comes Novak up to the line. He's about to start a flying lap in that Toro Rosso. Down that start-finish straight he goes, up towards almost 220 miles an hour before you slam on the brakes into that first chicane. That is a place where we will see a lot of overtaking in the Grand Prix tomorrow. One of many places on this circuit where you can overtake. And he now heads through that Curva Grande, another area where you can see action, slipstreaming down towards this second chicane. Very tight, these chicanes here at Monza. It's not easy to go 2x2 through them, but it can be done. It's easier to get that move done on the brakes rather than through the corner, as Novak now heads into the Lesmos, and the Lesmos can be so difficult for a driver. And there you go, that proves it. Understeering wide all over the curb on the exit of the first one, but a little bit tidier through the second, because you've got to take as much aerodynamics off as you can to help you in a straight line. And through the Lesmos, it's well, understeer city through there, because you're really struggling with the front end because you've taken so much aero off. And Novak now heads through the brilliant Ascari section, and now down the back straight towards the famous Parabolica corner. Up through the gears, into 8th gear he goes, nearly 210 miles an hour now as he slams on the brakes for the sweeping final corner that is the Parabolica. Now run it right out wide towards the edge of the racetrack and come to the line, and Novak abandons this run. And we can now go to IRT Falcon, a man that we know has got so much pace but always seems to end up in collisions and some incidents with people. He needs to try and clean it up to avoid getting involved in things like that, especially for next season. Our championship challenge this year has faded with a whimper. It's been a terrible season for him. What can he do here as he heads down towards the Parabolica, and the back end squirming on that Williams? Look at that, running it right out towards the edge of the circuit, and he's coming into the pits. And with only 3.5 minutes to go in the session, Falcon no time on the board, Novak no time on the board, and Lewis no time on the board. So a little bit surprising for those guys. Johnny R95, nothing representative. Frisky CJ is out of the session, as is Brady, as we know. And we still await a representative time from Bugatti as well. Everyone in the top 10 is in the pits except Michael. He's on an outlap, but Bugatti at the moment, is he on a quick one? Through the second of the two Lesmos, taking all sorts of curb through the apex there, and now underneath the old racetrack he will go in a few moments time. That's that bridge you see right there. That is the old Monza circuit with its huge bankings, as we now go back to modern life through the Ascari chicane. And a lot of drivers do tend to run out wide there on the exit. It's not seen as track extending. Well, it is seen as track extending, but it's not seen as gaining any time. That's how the FIA view it. So they never, they don't frown upon that like they do with other things on other circuits, such as the final couple of corners at Austria, for example. But here goes Bugatti out of the final corner, up to the line. Where can he go? Surely he's going to improve on his current time. He does, but it only moves him up one place into 10th position on a 1:21.7. So that means I think we should ride on board with the current poleman, Michael, and he is about to start a flying lap round the final corner, up to the line, currently on pole by a full 0.3 of a second at the moment. Well, 0.2. Gran and Lickle, can they pounce? I mean, if you do set your lap time early and you don't improve on it, you are under threat to being challenged later on as the track rubbers in. And this is what this is why you need to be on it on this lap as well. You've got a Williams in the wall down there. Is that Johnny R95 that's crashed? I think so. Is it Johnny R95's car? I don't know, his car's now in the pits. I think it might be. So Johnny R95 joins CJ and Brady on the sidelines with no time on the board. So we go back to Michael at 26.3 through that first sector. What can the McLaren driver do as he flings it into the first Lesmo of two? And has he backed out of it? Indeed he has. Michelangelo backing out of this lap. Has he got fuel to go again? Just about. So we will see a second effort from Michelangelo. Gone and end though. He starts another lap, and can he apply the pressure on Michael after that failed first effort? He's got Lickle blocks not far behind him on the road, his teammate. So these two evenly matched so far in this section, and gone and end running out wide. Was he losing time going through the gravel there? I think he might have got away with it, but the back end was squirming on the exit there. Bugatti now out of the section, has gone and end, flings it through the second Lesmo, opens up the DRS on that Force India car down towards Ascari underneath the old circuit. What can Gorinen do on this lap? Has he backed out of it? Don't think so. Still absolutely on it is Gorinen. Lickle behind him. What's he doing? That looks like a slow exit to that corner, and he's back right out of a lap. So Lickle not on a quick one at the moment. What about Jack Lacey? He's just started one. It's me starting one. Bullet, I believe, about to start one as well. Matt Tibos yet to do one at the moment, as we all wait for the times to come in. So let's go back to Gran to see if he was completing that lap a quick one. No, it wasn't. A 21.7, well down in his previous best as he crosses the line to start another lap. Lickle, as we know, he abandoned that last effort. Michelangelo almost a 10th up on his current best on this second effort. So Michelangelo, he might be the first man to see the checker flag of the guys that are fighting for pole. Here he goes then, down towards their scary chicane once more. A lap of fuel left, he's running on the limit of fuel, he throws it in. And the McLaren man is looking good at the moment. Can the two Force Indias, what about Jack Lacey, can they do anything about him? What about Lewis? We've yet to see a time from him. He's on one at the moment as a Toro Rosso driver at their home circuit. Toro Rosso, Italian team. What can they do? Jack Lacey's gone second, very close to displacing Michael, but it's not enough. Michael heading for the line, taking the shortest run to it. Can he improve? Oh, he can! 119.9. The first man to dip into the 90s, but look at Gran. He's a full 2.5 tenths up on his current best. What can he do? Lickle up on his best through the first sector. But what will Gran do as he heads down towards the final couple of corners? Lewis, only 4th quickest. That is a surprise for the championship leader. He will surely not stay there as the Finnish driver. Gran heads to the line. What can he do? Can he snatch pole? Not quite. He goes 3rd of all. So Gran 3rd. Matt Tebos has gone up into 5th place. He's beaten the championship leader Lewis, who's having a nightmare session here. Bullet sees the flag in 10th. We await Falcon. We await Lickle. What will Lickle do? What will Falcon do? Falcon heads for the line and goes 4th quickest. Good effort from Falcon, but now we need to pick up Lickle blocks. His teammate couldn't quite do it. He could only manage 3rd. What about Lickle? Can he snatch the pole to the death? No, he cannot. But does he improve? No, I don't think so. 6th quickest for Vaught Lickle, and that was disappointment there for the Force India team because they were looking so strong as the final runs began. They were 2nd and 3rd, and they've now ended up 3rd and 6th. Not ideal for the Force India team, but it was Cliffy. I missed that. When did Cliffy do that? Oh, my mistake. I missed Cliffy doing that. It was unbelievable. Cliffy went fastest on a 119.8. He beat Michael by half a tenth. Gran 3rd and Falcon 4th. Jack Lacey was 5th and Lickle was 6th. I do apologise, folks. I totally missed Cliffy going on pole. Was that? Did I miss that entirely? Or was that the game? I think I missed it. Apologies, folks, if I missed that one. But Cliffy ends up on pole. Well done to Cliffy. We did say in the show that he was capable of putting that car on pole. And that's exactly what he's done as we are greeted here in Monza with another sunny afternoon, and it should be another cracking race. I was watching the ILR3 race the other day and we were greeted with all kinds of weather, damp conditions in the qualifying session, and it brightened up in the race. And it was some Grand Prix, that one, a lot of action, sometimes not the cleanest, it was not at times, but there was some good action as well, and hopefully we can get a clean race and some really exciting action here in ILR1. But it's Cliffy who starts this race from pole position. What can he do? Is he ready to pick up a victory and get himself back into the championship fight? We'll keep an eye on it. What will Cliffy do? Well, here we go. The warm-up lap begins and Cliffy leads us away. I think it's time to load up the tyres, as we always do on these warm-up laps, to see what the tyre choice is from all the drivers. And 9 of the top 10 drivers have started on the Super Softs. That's what they qualified on. And you've got Nowick in 10th position. He's gone for the soft compound tyre. Bulletproof in 11th. He's also gone for the soft compound. Shimasi as well, soft compound. And then you've got Maxi Luca and Bugatti on the mediums. Dead and Johnny R95, 15th on the grid on soft. Frisky CG is on mediums, and VSR Brady on the soft tyre in 17th place. It should be a straightforward one-stop race. The guys on the Super Softs will probably go to the medium tyre. Some of them might try and stretch out onto the softs. The likes of Michelangelo, he is one that always does enjoy trying that tactic, so we'll keep an eye and see if he does do that. He has always been renowned for doing exactly that, so we'll keep an eye on that. But it is Cliffy who has the pole position. He has that starting position, and Michael there, look at him trying to get alongside, maybe trying to get into Cliffy's head a little. And I'm going to have you off the line. It will be exciting to see how those two jostle early on. They have been battling hard before in previous races. They have got a rivalry in ILR. Gran, we all know he's no slouch. He's capable of winning. He's done it twice already this season. Falcon as well, but can he keep his head and stay out of trouble? He's fourth on the grid. Jack Lacey fifth, and he is oh, look how close he was to collecting Falcon there. Goodness me. Licko, he's sixth on the grid. Matt Tibos up in seventh, ahead of Lewis, who's had a nightmare qualifying session. The championship leader under real pressure going into this one. Very unlike him to be struggling so much in qualifying. It's me is ninth, Nowek 10th. He's back on the grid. Bulletproof 11th, Shimasi 12th, Maxi Luca 13th, Bugatti 14th, Johnny 15th. How many cars are on the grid here? 4 cars, 5 cars disqualified on the parade lap. Risky CG, he's 16th, and VSR Brady, we've seen him, he likes his fireworks. We've seen him charging through the field on many occasions. Will we see him do that once more? Well, here come the cars back onto the grid. We are all set for the start of the Italian Grand Prix. It's round 12 of the championship. Who is going to take home the victory here at Monza? Will it be Cliffy? Will it be Michael? Will it be Gran? The 5 red lights are coming on here at Monza. It's one of the longest runs to turn 1 on the calendar. Can Cliffy hold his lead? We'll find out as the for the Italian Grand Prix here in ILR1, and Cliffy has not got the best of starts, and the Greek god Michael pulls alongside. There's an accident in the background. That's Maxi Luca and Johnny R95 at the back, but look at that, Michael with the crucial start gets the jump on Cliffy, and now Cliffy losing out to Gran as well as they exit the first chicane. What a great start that is. Really messy in the background, a Ferrari way off the road. That is Maxi Luca, but Cliffy is being swallowed up by the pack here. Here comes Falcon now, dicing and diving all over the back of Cliffy into the second chicane, but he can't find a way through. Cliffy out of shape, and now he can find a way through. Cliffy having a nightmare start. Now Licko's there as well. Is he through? And Cliffy too? Oh, very, very close. I don't think so. As off the track goes Jack. Whoa! Huge accident there. Out goes Jack Lacey. Out goes Bugatti. And a humongous shunt between the two Lesmos. Whoa, that was a major incident there. Out goes the Mercedes, out goes the Renault, and the right front is ruined on Jack Lacey's car, the left front ruined on Bugatti's car, and they are both out of the Grand Prix. What an absolute disaster for those two. Well, I just think Jack Lacey got a little bit wide and Bugatti came steaming in, and the two of them ended up with a huge shunt. But Cliffy has had a nightmare start to this Grand Prix as well, down from pole position to 5th, and now look, he's got Lewis, the championship leader, all over him, and Lewis will pull alongside and use the tow from the car in front to get himself alongside Cliffy. Can he do it into turn 1? Oh, he's going to have to try the outside. There's no way through, and Cliffy clings on, but he's erratic on those curbs, Cliffy, isn't he? A nightmare in the opening lap, all over the curbs through the second chicane in the opening lap. That lost him a position, and he might lose another one through Curva Grande. Side by side go Lewis and Cliffy down towards the second chicane. Who's going to win this duel on the brakes? Is it Cliffy? Is it Lewis? Lewis looks like he's got the high ground, and he's got 5th place. Through goes Lewis, up into 5th, and Cliffy is dropping like a stone at the start of this Grand Prix. What an absolute disaster for him. It's Lewis now, up into 5th, and can he start challenging the cars ahead? Brilliant stuff at the start of this Grand Prix, but also not some great stuff at the back between Bugatti and Jack. They're both out of the Grand Prix. There will be some debris after the race about that one, that's for sure, as It's Me now climbs onto the back of Cliffy, who is clearly really struggling to get into any kind of rhythm, and It's Me is climbing all over the back of him. It is the closest battle on track at the moment, and Cliffy is under so much pressure. What is going wrong here with Cliffy? Let's have a quick look at his telemetry. He's running in lean fuel at the moment. I can't understand why. He flicks it back up into Rich as Michael pumps in a new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Falcon immediately removes that fastest lap from him, and it goes quicker than him as the DRS is now active, not quite yet, as he goes down towards turn 1. It's Me on Cliffy. Is he going to try a move? Not quite. Cliffy parks it in the middle of the road and holds on with no problems whatsoever. It is lap 3 out of 27, breathtaking start. It is Michael in the lead from Gran and Falcon in 3rd, Licko 4th, then Lewis in 5th. Now the battle you watch. It's Cliffy 6th, and It's Me in 7th. It's Me dancing all over the rear of that Red Bull. Is he having a look into the braking zone? He's having a look, but no more than that. We've got a yellow flag. Johnny R95 out of this Grand Prix. 3 retirements in 3 laps, as It's Me continues to challenge the rear of Cliffy's car. Riding on board now with Cliffy from that offset T-cam, you could sort of call it, from behind the helmet, and you can see the dash there, all the different knobs on the steering wheel. And that's how advanced these Formula 1 cars are now. In the F1 2018, it might even be a case that you'll have to manage your own ERS as well in the Grand Prix, and that will add to the difficulties, it will add to the strategic battle as you drive past Johnny R95's car there. He has crashed at a Ascari, it would seem. That appears to be where he has come to rest as we continue to watch It's Me on the tail of VRT Cliffy. What about Falcon? He seems to be on the move as well, tucked up behind Gran as they go down towards that first corner. Is there going to be any way through for him on the brakes down towards that opening turn? He's certainly closing and closing and closing, and he's having a lunge here as Falcon on the brakes of the turn one. Oh, what was that? Falcon just sends it up the inside of Gran, taps him into a spin, ruins Ganonen's race. And I mean, how many times do you have to do that before you're going to learn? And Falcon just steamed down the inside into the side of Ganon, and I mean, it's just stupid. It is absolutely stupid. And as a commentator, I'm not supposed to say that. I'm supposed to be impartial, but that's just ridiculous. And Falcon, now in fourth position, ruins the race of Ganon, who drops to 10th place, sending one up the inside from there. It just wasn't on, and off went Ganon into a spin. His race totally ruined as we now ride on board with Bulletproof onto the back of Nowek. I just cannot believe that move there that I've just witnessed. Absolutely ridiculous. As we keep an eye on this little battle between Cliffy. I mean, how is Cliffy struggling? Oh, who's that? That's Brady in the wall. Oh, that happened a few moments ago. Brady now out of the Grand Prix. He was not up at the front sharp end anyway, I don't think. So out goes Brady as well. That's 4 retirements in 4 laps. I wonder how many more we're going to get as Falcon continues to threaten the back of Lewis. Is he going to send one up the inside of him as well and ruin his race? I hope not. But we'll keep an eye on it as they go down towards turn 1. He's certainly got a huge toe. Look at the straight line speed. He's got over 215 miles an hour on the brakes. Thinks better of it and remains tucked up behind VSR Lewis at the moment. Michael stretching that lead now though to 2.8 seconds on Lickle out front. And Falcon realising here he needs to get a move on if he wants to get up towards the front. Hopefully he can make the move properly, make it stick nicely and go through into third place. Not quite on this occasion as we will now switch back to that great battle that's been going on. Oh, hold on. Lewis, has he let him go there? I just went back to the action. Either made a mistake or let him through. I'm not quite sure. Strange one. I totally missed it. I just went back to watch the battle further back. Either Lewis put a wheel in the gravel or let him through. I'm not quite sure. But back to this midfield battle as Gornen's had another tumble through the order and he's off the road again at the second Lesmo, and I don't know if there's been more contact. Oh no, he's just... Oh, it's gone. The race is gone for Gornen. And down in 12th place, his race has been ruined and he is pretty much out of contention as Matt Tibos and Nowek do battle down towards the breaking point. And Nowek is through on Matt Tibos, up into 7th place there in quite a battle that's beginning to shape up. Still Cliffy, not really holding up. It's Me now. It's Me actually dropping into the clutches maybe of Nowek and Matt and Bullet. This battle has been going on for a few laps now. It's been simmering in the pot. And is there a move here from Matt Tibos on Nowek into turn 1? Bullet in the background having a look as well. No way through on the brakes. And it remains It's Me 6th, Nowek 7th, Matt Tibos 8th and Bullet in 9th. Cracking little battle between these 4 at the moment out there on circuit. So let's keep an eye on Nowek. Is the thinking about making a move on It's Me anytime soon? How far away are we from pit stop as well? Maybe lap 9 or 10 we will see cars in, maybe switch onto the medium, maybe even before that. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Nowek though, running a good race on those soft compounds. You need to remember he has started on those and not running too far off the lead after 6 laps, doing a reasonable job. Could he bring himself into play later on when they go on to a set of super soft tyres? We'll keep an eye on it. But Nowek at the moment in a battle is Bulletproof side by side into Ascari. Look at that, brilliant racing, and he's through. Oh, wonderful stuff from Bullet, passing Matt Tibos while on those soft tyres, and are those super softs past their sell-by date. Beautiful stuff from Bullet. We've not seen much of him this season, but we are now finally beginning to see it from the Scotsman here at Monza, and he moves up into 8th place with a lovely move on Matt Tibos, and through he goes. And are those soft tyres beginning to come into their window as we now watch Nowek close in on the back of It's Me. I really enjoyed that move from Bullet though. Finally, some good racing to be seen on track. Lovely stuff. But back to that battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th. What a move from Bullet. Loved it. Falcon 3rd, Lewis 4th and Cliffy 5th as they go back to this little battle, and through Curva Grande they go. And is Lewis going to get himself back on the tail? Falcon's got himself ahead of Lewis. Oh, that was of course at this corner when he let him through, or either went off the road, as Lewis now picks up a 3-second time penalty. Now, why would he let him through, or did he make a mistake? I'm going to suggest, oh, he's got an end, right, finally retires. Got an end, is out of the Grand Prix. And yeah, his race was ruined by Falcon earlier on, and then it just got worse from there when he was further down the field, going off down at the Lesmos. So it's a shame for him. The 5th retirement of the Grand Prix. Got an end. Brady, Johnny, Bugatti and Jack Lacey all out of the Grand Prix at the moment. But Lewis, did he let Falcon through because he was worried about Falcon taking him off, perhaps? Was that something he may have considered? I'm not sure, but there's every possibility he would, as we ride on board with Lewis attacking the back of Falcon. Is he going to be able to make a move as they go down towards turn 1 and into the pits? Was it from Falcon? No. Oh, we got lag. Oh, that's strange. Hope that's not me disconnecting. It's not. We've got Lewis slowing right down. What the hell's going on there? So Falcon into the lead as Lewis. What's happened to Lewis's car? That was weird. That was really weird. But Falcon now takes the lead from Michael and what is going on with my screen? Has Michael just been in the... How has Michael ended up behind Falcon? What has just happened? What the hell? What the hell just happened there? I've got absolutely no idea. How the hell is Falcon now ahead of Michael and It's Me's ahead of what? Alright, well, I'm as confused as you guys watching. I've got no idea what just happened there. And we've lost Bullet, we've lost Maxi Luca, we're down to 10 cars now. Have they crashed to get with each other? Yep, I think they have. Oh, I've got no idea. We're down to 10 cars after 8 laps, for goodness sake. And not only that, we've got some lag going on or something. I've got no idea as to how Falcon's ahead of Michael and It's Me's ahead of Lecco, and how Lewis... Oh, I've got no idea. I mean, if you guys in the chat seen anything different there, it certainly seemed to me like it was the game playing tricks on us. But now we have Falcon ahead of Michael, and the lobby is really glitching out big time. So now It's Me's in the lead. That's because Falcon's in the pits and Michael's in the pits, so they're both in the pits for a pit stop. So what is going on here? Into the pits comes Michelangelo, and on goes set of the soft compound tires. We expected he might try that strategy. Falcon, has he been held? He was held. And he rejoins the race on mediums. So Michael going to softs, Falcon going to mediums. But I can't feel this race has been ruined a bit by lag there. That was very strange what played out there. So now Falcon is back behind Michael. But the lobby really glitching out there. No idea. And strange. Don't know what's happened there. But we'll try and figure it out. But it is now It's Me in the lead of this Grand Prix. The top 5 have yet to stop. It's Me, Lickel, Lewis, Cliffy and Matt Tibos. All 5 of those drivers yet to make a stop. And it's Michael behind that in 6th, who has stopped. Falcon also stopped. Shimasi, Nowak and Frisky CJ. We'll see how Nowak gets on those mediums. Why is he gone in on softs and went for mediums? Strange strategy there from Nowak. Not quite sure what that was about, but here is the leading 5 and the leading 4 all together in the picture. It's Me in the lead on those super softs. How much further can he take them as Lickel chooses to come into the pits? He's had enough of those. Is anyone else coming in? Nope, just Lickel of that leading 4. Will Matt Tibos do the same thing? We'll find out in a few moments. But Lickel is in the pits. Where will he rejoin this race? Matt Tibos does not pit. So Lickel into the pits. And a set of softs, is it? Yep, it is. He's doing the same strategy as Michelangelo. And a front wing change as well for Lickel Block. So that is going to hamper him quite considerably. And Lickel Block's telling us actually when he's in the pit stops that the frame rate dropped and gave him damage. So yeah, the frame rate totally dropped. You're right. I don't know what happened. Totally mixed up the order. And in the end, Lickel has got damage because of the frame rate, so that's a shame for him. So that's why Lickel Blocks has dropped right down the order. Thanks for letting us know, Lickel, during that pit stop. Fast fingers there you've got. So Lickel back on the track in 7th position. So Falcon well up the road from him now, and Michael as well, but Falcon might be getting a penalty or a major slap on the wrist for some of his driving. It was ridiculous what we've seen from him. As we go back to It's Me out in front. Not the first time he's been leading a race this season by pitting late. He's certainly a driver that's really, really improved as the season's gone on. Started out life here in ILR1, having won the ILR2 championship last year. It was tough to start with, stuck in that midfield, but he really has started to prove himself as one of the best drivers in the midfield, a bit like the Force India of real life, you could say. Maybe not quick enough to get on the podium week in, week out, or win races week in, week out, but certainly quick enough to make a name for himself and be impressive and earn the plaudits, and that's about exactly what It's Me's done. He's going again now as the other three have come in on those super soft tyres. Lewis, Cliffy and Matt all in the pits as It's Me is trying that strategy where he can move on to softs, it would seem. Cliffy, away he goes onto soft tyres, so even these guys feel it's time for a set of softs. Matt Tibos as well. Falcon now moves up into fourth. Michael is now up into what you would think is a net lead, but he's only 19.5 seconds ahead of It's Me, so It's Me could really bring himself back out here, right in amongst a chance for a podium here, so we'll keep an eye on It's Me. Really big chance at a podium for him today. Lap 11 out of 27, and he's putting a superb performance together. And look at this battle here. You got Cliffy and Lickle going side by side, and as Lickle about to make a move on Cliffy on the brakes, not quite. Remember, Cliffy's just made that pit stop and he is ahead of Lickle, and Lickle, remember, did have to make a stop. Well, he had to make a stop obviously, but he had to make a front wing change at his stop as well, so a real shame for Lickle blocks in that regard. So Lickle currently sixth, Cliffy in fifth, Lewis fourth, Falcon in third at the moment, and It's Me is starting to lose that advantage he has on Michael now as he comes into the pits. Look at the graining on that left tyre, incredible amount of graining there. He's taken them quite long, and I'm sure if he can manage 12 laps on those, he'll manage 15 on a set of soft compound tyres. Up onto the jacks goes the Haas car, and on goes a set of, as we thought, the soft compound tyre. Where is Michael? Here he comes across the start finish line now. It's Me on the pit exit. Is he going to be anywhere near a podium here? It's Me. He's going to be coming out in third, but he won't remain third as they go down the start finish straight. He will drop to fourth. There you go. And does he have a shot at a podium here? He might. I really hope so. It would be great to see It's Me get himself onto the podium. Really is a superb driver, It's Me. He really has come of age and doing a superb job as we now go to that battle between Lickle and Cliffy for 5th and 6th. Cliffy, of course, fresher tyres on board his car, a lap or two fresher. Lickle currently staring at the back of that Red Bull, considering a move pretty soon, you would think. Michael in control out front to Falcon in second, who will surely have a penalty looming over him. Then Lewis in third, It's Me in fourth with the freshest tyres out of the lot of them. Can he bring himself into contention for that podium? That's the big story here. I would really love to see It's Me get himself on the podium, especially at Monza. It is one of the best podiums on the Formula 1 calendar. I mean, it really is a joy. I mean, I was sitting alongside Paul McGuinness in the commentary box on I think it was Thursday night for ILR3, and he was itching to leave the commentary box to go down and do the podium interviews, but as there was no Ferrari man up there, he decided against it. So a shame there, but the podium will be a great affair, as it always is here at Monza, and for It's Me to get up there would be fantastic. I really am rooting for him. We'll wait and see what he can do as we keep an eye on the closest battle on track between Cliffy in 5th and Lickle Blocks in 6th, as Michael continues to lead, and he will take 10 points out of Lewis in the World Championship as it stands and slice that gap down, and that is certainly something he will be hoping to do, and cut that gap to Lewis in the championship as we go on towards the halfway point of this Grand Prix, as we now lose Shimasi from the Grand Prix. He's come into the pits and retired from the race, so the Ferrari fans will not be happy. That's both their cars out of the Grand Prix, Shimasi and Maxi Luca. I think Maxi Luca's not in the Ferrari, is he? He's in the McLaren. Well, Shimasi, he's out of the Grand Prix, and that is that for the Tifosi, and they're probably going to be heading home now, flooding back home to Milan to drown their sorrows. It's not been a good day, as now Jack Lacey has left the session. Well, we saw him involved in that crash on the opening lap between him and Bugatti, where they both ended up out of the Grand Prix. And we're now down to just 9 runners after just 13 laps. That is extremely disappointing, really, from some of the drivers in this field. I have to be honest, I'm disappointed to see so many cars out of the Grand Prix at this stage. As we ride on board with Lickle Blocks going across the start-finish line, hunting down VRT Cliffy. It's not going to be easy for him. DRS open, and clearly Cliffy has got a lot of straight line speed as Falcon picks up a 3-second time penalty behind Michael in second, and he might have a few more penalties to add to his name come the end of this race after that lunge he had on Gran earlier on in the Grand Prix. A really big lunge, desperate dive on the brakes in the turn 1, and ended up sending Gran for a spin, and down into 10th place he went, and that triggered Gran to then retire later on when he was involved in an incident down at the second Lesmo. We lost Jack Lacey and Bugatti on the opening lap in a crash at this very section of circuit you're watching now between the two Lesmos. We lost Johnny in the wall at Ascari, Brady in the wall at the exit of Ascari, Gran of course retiring after a wretched weekend. Maxi Luca, I'm not sure, I think he retired as well. Bulletproof, I think he and Maxi Luca may have come together somewhere. They are also out of the Grand Prix. And Shimasi retired in the pits, and Jamie's not here, but I'll use his quote. It was a power unit issue for Shimasi. Yeah, Jamie, you might not be here, but I've got to mention your quote. I mean, if somebody comes into the pits with an issue, it must be a power unit failure. So there you go, Jamie. I've got to mention that for you, mate. So, power unit failure for him. As we now go back to this battle between Lewis and Falcon, and Lewis has really hunted him down, hot on his heels now, and is threatening to make a move in the next few laps. And well, the way Falcon's been driving, you better be careful. That's all I'm saying. So here comes Lewis onto the tail of Falcon as they go down through Curva Grande into that second chicane. Is there any way through on the brakes? No, there is not, and Falcon holds the high ground and holds the position and takes another penalty to his name. That's another time penalty for IRT Falcon. And he's now put a wheel on the gravel, and Lewis is going to be alongside, isn't he? Here comes Lewis, side by side they go. Falcon in the gravel, is he in the wall? Yes, he is. Falcon in the wall, damages the wing, and he now drops down to 4th, perhaps even 5th or 6th place. He's under real threat here from Cliffy and Lickle, and he's pulling to the side of the road, and through goes Cliffy and through goes Lickle. Falcon down to 6th, and you have to say that's no more than what he deserves, to be honest. Down to 6th he goes, front wing damage, race pretty much ruined for him. So down and out he goes, and he just floored the throttle on the exit of the second Lesmo. I don't understand why. Just take your time. He wasn't squeezed, he just had to not wear the throttle coming out of there, and he drops now right down to 7th place. And will he pit? Yes, he will, and 2 points is the maximum he'll get from this race. He might even choose to retire when he comes in. We'll have to wait and see as we keep an eye on Lickle versus Cliffy versus It's Me, and he for me has been the star of the show today, now up into 3rd place, into a podium position. And are we looking at a potential driver of the day in It's Me, or can Cliffy and Lickle spoil that podium party for him? Let us know in the chat what you think, folks. It might be a little bit early for it. It's up to you, for you to vote for your driver of the day. Who is your man at the moment? Still a lot of time left in this Grand Prix though. I don't want to hand it to It's Me and then he ends up putting it in the wall. We have lost half the field from this Grand Prix, so there's every chance we could lose a few more yet. I will be interested to see if Falcon can make any inroads with that fresh set of soft compound tyres he's put on. He might be able to start chasing Cliffy down in the remaining laps. We'll keep an eye on that one. But at the moment, this battle for the final podium spot is the one to watch. It's Me in 3rd, clinging on to what would be a superb result for him. At the moment, Cliffy in 4th, Lickle in 5th. Lickle seemingly doesn't have the straight line speed to attack Cliffy at the moment though, and that's only going to get harder if Cliffy is in the DRS of It's Me, which he is at the moment, just by the skin of his teeth. Oh, I think he's dropped out as I say that, and he's now just outside that DRS zone, and now he's got Lickle closing and closing onto his tail, but not close enough as they run onto the brake pedal down at that first chicane to make a move stick. So 10 laps to go. It is Michael in control. His lead in the championship, Lewis's lead in the championship is going to be cut down here by 7 World Championship points. And as we expected, the two drivers that have been on top form all season long, all last season as well. The two best drivers in ILR and on PlayStation on this game without a doubt. It has to be said. And they are really showing why they have been the best. Michael on top here, Lewis in second. Is Lewis closing that gap? He is slightly, but surely not enough to go on and challenge Michael. That poor qualifying yesterday has proved costly, you have to say. As we now keep an eye on Cliffy getting right onto the tail of It's Me, and you've got to think that he looks like he means business and he's going to make that move pretty soon. As we watch the three of them battling for that podium spot, head down towards the Parabolica for the 17th time out of 27. Is Cliffy moving into position for a move? He lets me know he's there by moving into his field of vision on his mirrors. I'm sure Let's Me would have spotted that there when he looked in his mirrors. And here comes Cliffy. Is he now in position? Let's Me feels the need to defend closer towards the pit wall. Now drifts to the centre of the road and leaves Cliffy indecisive. Does he want to go left? Does he want to go right? He's going to have a look on the brakes in a turn one, and his name's not Falcon, so he's not going to go sending missiles up the inside there, and decides to stay in behind him in fourth place. And that was a sensible decision. I'm sure his chance will come later on in this Grand Prix. What about Lickle though? He's still right there in position to make a challenge. Will he do that? So the three of them through that chicane. We've got a yellow flag. Why is that in sector 3? Oh, it's Falcon. And he retires from the race. So we're now down to 8 runners as Falcon goes for a spin at the Parabolica. As we now go back to the great battle on track between It's Me, Cliffy and Lickle. We're all running down towards the Ascari chicane. Is there any way that a move can be made here? It's Me third, Cliffy fourth and Lickle in fifth. All racing their way through the Ascari chicane and now down towards the breaking point for Parabolica. Do not go anywhere, folks. This looks like a thrilling battle between these three for a spot on the podium. It has been the feature of the Grand Prix. The best action on racetrack as Brady has had enough. He's heading home on the next flight. He's left the session out of the Grand Prix way earlier on with a crash on the exit of Ascari. As we now watch Cliffy look at It's Me. Look, he's got Lickle in the attack of him. Is there going to be any moves on the brakes in the turn one? Cliffy certainly has a look. Brakes late. Lickle almost careering into the back of him on the brakes, but just about holds on. Brilliant action between these three. It's Michael in the lead, Lewis second. That looks pretty much a stalemate between those two, but who is going to be the final man on top of that brilliant Monza podium? Will it be It's Me? Will it be Cliffy? Or will it be Lickle blocks as they go down into that second chicane once more? It's Me, Cliffy and Lickle all battling hard as they go down now towards that first of the two Lesmos. The fans watching in general admission down there really enjoying it. And is there going to be any chance for a move? You've got to feel it's going to be in one of the DRS zones, don't you? Cliffy now opens up that DRS. There goes the flap opening on that Red Bull. Is he gaining and gaining on It's Me ever so slightly as they run down towards Ascari? Is he going to make the move? Not quite close enough. As we go back on board with Cliffy through Ascari they go once again. The fans here at Monza might not be treated to a Ferrari fighting at the front, but they are being treated to some great racing here as Cliffy again moves himself into position as he runs down towards the Parabolica. Is he going to make a move? Again, he is forced to wait his turn as Lickle also gets himself on the hot on the heels between them. Lap 20 of 27 about to be started for these guys across the line, and look at the run that Lickle's got coming out of the final corner. Cliffy is under threat here. Look at It's Me though. We could be 3 wide in the brakes in a turn 1 possibly. Lickle on the outside. Can he sweep around the outside? We are 3 wide on the brakes. Oh, incredible drama. It's Me holds on. Cliffy runs wide and through goes Lickle up into 4th place. Great racing between the 3 of them. And Cliffy, he bit off more than he could chew. He had a look at Lickle, sorry, the look at It's Me. Couldn't find a way through. They rubbed wheels, forced wide on the exit of the first chicane, and Lickle said thank you very much, I'll take the place, and moves up into 4th place. Wonderful racing here at Monza between those 3. It has been a race full of idiocy at times, but at least some drivers out there know how to race, and these 3 sure do. It's Me 3rd, Lickle 4th and Cliffy in 5th as Matt Tibos now starts to get himself closer and closer to this group, and I'd love to see the ILR 2 star of last season get himself involved with the ILR2 champ from last season and these 2 ILR1 veterans as well. It'd be great to see as Lickle now had a horrible exit there, a horrible exit coming out of Ascari, and now Cliffy once again is on his tail. No DRS on this back straight for Cliffy. But can he set it up going through the parabolica? Lickle looked as if he was a little bit hot there into the parabolica, and that might allow Cliffy to home in on him. It's me defending over again towards the pit wall. Across the line they go, and here comes Cliffy. DRS available but not in use. Has he got a DRS failure? He might, you know. And here comes Lickle down the outside of all places. Oh, that's a brave move, but not quite able to get it done. And it's me, and he remains stuck behind him as Cliffy lights up the rear tyres coming out of that chicane. And now Matt Tibos is within DRS range of Cliffy as well. So we could have 4 cars pretty soon battling for the podium, as Lewis closes now to within 3 seconds of Michelangelo out front. There might only be 8 cars, but we have a cracking finale to this Grand Prix. Really enjoying it, folks. And I'm interested to know what you guys watching feel about this. Who of these 4 drivers is going to pick up that final podium spot? For me, I think... Oh, I don't know actually. Lickle. I'm going to say Lickle. Well, I'm saying Lickle, and here he goes. Is he about to prove that point? Oh, is he going to do a bullet round the outside and do a scary perhaps? He's going to try it. Oh, he can't do that. He's going to have to lift off the throttle, and that's going to allow Cliffy in there. It's all in a shape. He's in the gravel. It's off the road. He's thrown away a brilliant opportunity to be in the podium. Oh, heartbreak for the ILR2 champion from last season. He drops to the tail of the group, and now Cliffy sweeps round the outside of Lickle blocks into the parabolica. What a duel between the two on the exit of the corner, and it seems like Lickle has held on for now. Look at Matt Tibos in behind, picking up the double toe. What a view from the helicopter cam as he head down towards the breaking point for that first chicane. Matt Tibos closing and closing and closing. Is Cliffy sweeping around the outside? He is! Oh, wonderful from Cliffy. Is he through? Oh, look at them drifting the rear end of the car all over the place on the exit of that corner. Now into Curva Grande, and Cliffy has completed that move. Absolutely sensational from Cliffy, but Lickle's coming back for a second blow. Unbelievable racing between these two, and Cliffy has got the move done. He's back up into the podium places. What a battle this is. And you know what? It's me might have made that error. He might be 2 seconds off this group, but the way they're battling, he will be back in this battle in a flash. What a race between these two. And now Matt Tibos is right there as well. Brilliant stuff. Oh, absolutely loving this. As Paul McGuinness demands that I don't say double toe, because every time I say the word double toe when there's a car being slipstreamed, it ends in disaster. We saw that on Thursday night when 3 cars clashed right here where we are watching now on this back straight. We've seen it in other leagues before. Paul McGuinness has been a victim in one of those crashes before in another league. As we now watch Lickle flying out of that final corner. He's got a great run again on Cliffy. What a battle. Lewis dipping under the 3-second marker on Michael as well up front. What about this battle for the podium spot? Will it be Cliffy? Will it be Lickle? Will it be Matt? Is It's Me going to have another chance? I doubt it at the moment. Into turn 1. Still Cliffy clings on. Lickle tucked right up behind him. Matt Tibos there as well. Awesome racing between these 3. Matt Tibos just seems to be waiting in the wings for a move. Can any of you pick a driver of the day that are watching right now? I'll give you the benefit of the position changes. Lewis up 6, Cliffy down 2. It's Me's thrown away his hopes of a driver of the day win for me. I've got to say, podium would have done it. If Matt Tibos can get in the podium, he might earn driver of the day, but at the moment it's with Lewis, I think. Up 6 places from his lowly qualifying position, and it has cost him a chance at victory this afternoon, it has to be said. But this battle continues to rage on between these 3, the Red Bull, the Force India and the Sauber. And It's Me, his hopes have faded, haven't they? He cannot get onto the back of the group. His tyres have had enough. His belief has been sucked away from him, and almost certainly It's Me's going to miss out on what would be a superb podium as they go into the Parabolica for the 23rd time, or 24th time I should say. Here they go, up to the line again. And Lickle closes in on the back of Cliffy with that Mercedes engine in the back of that car. Down towards turn 1, it just seems like Matt Tibos does not have the straight line speed to challenge these guys. It's going to take a mistake between the two of them, or them rubbing wheels or running wide or something, because he just cannot get onto their tails. He's clinging onto their coattails, but he can't do any more than that. No moves in the brakes from Matt Tibos yet. Is he just biding his time? He doesn't really have the fuel either to compete, does he? And mind you, neither do the other two. Well, Cliffy does. 2 laps of fuel in his pocket if he wants to use it. So you've got to say he does have a good chance, but mind you, he's in a scrappy chicane there, And as they go through that first Lesmo, he's under real threat again from Lickle. Well, you know what, we had to wait a while for some quality racing in this race with all the chaos that's went on earlier on, but we are now seeing what ILR1 is supposed to be all about at long last. And hopefully we can start to see more of this again in the future. We've went through a period in ILR1 where some of the racing has been a bit spoiled by some poor driving, but these three are all renowned for their clean racing, and we're seeing it yet again here. Cliffy versus Lickle versus Matt, down again into that Parabolica corner, and I don't think you're going to see a move into Parabolica. It's very difficult to do that. We did see Huberto Mancini do a double move down there on Thursday night. It was a sensational move, but I think you're not going to see that very often, as we now watch Lickle blocks make a move on the outside of Cliffy. Can he sweep round the outside? That is dangerous. That might allow Tebos in. Oh, not quite. And it remains Cliffy third, Lickle fourth, and Matt Tebos fifth, as Lewis now gets it down to 2.2 seconds between the front two, but picks up a 3-second time penalty. So that might have ruined his chance, but Lickle is right alongside Cliffy this time. Is he going to go round the outside of him? Oh, no room for that, and Cliffy holds on yet again, but Tebos just isn't close enough to pounce. Even when those guys are battling side by side, Tebos isn't there. Matt just cannot get himself into position for a move. Oh, the laps are ticking by. Lickle's running out of time to get himself on that podium and taste the champagne. Right now it's going to be Cliffy on the greatest podium of the entire F1 season, greeted by the Tifosi. Through Ascari they go, and Cliffy remains on target for that podium. Out in the lead though, I've not seen him for a while. It is Michael controlling the race from the front. Lewis trying to catch him, too little too late though, as they start the penultimate lap. Then the battle we've all been watching. All through the shot go those three cars, and again Lickle trying to get himself into position for a move. Is he going to be able to do that as they run down towards turn one again? Onto the brakes, and again once more there is no chance for Lickle to get through. And has Cliffy ridden the storm? Look at the fuel he's got on the right hand side there. 1.7 laps of fuel in his pocket. Lickle has only got 0.65. Has the moment gone for Lickle? Quite possibly. But every time through that second chicane, Lickle is on it compared to Cliffy. He nails it, and it allows him to get right onto his tail again. And look at this through the Lesmos. All over the back of him. Absolutely all over him. And there's the mistake. Oh, unbelievable. Cliffy dips a wheel in the grass and ends up sliding off the road in the exit of the second Lesmo and into the gravel, or into the wall he went. But thankfully he hit the wall flush with his tyres and didn't damage the wing like Falcon did earlier, and he drops to 5th place. And Lickle is, by the looks of it, going to pick up that podium spot. Heartbreak it seems for Cliffy, who, if you remember, started this race from pole. It's been a poor race for him. He would not have went into this Grand Prix looking at 5th position. He would have went into it hoping to win it, but it's fell away for VRT Cliffy. Now, what can Matt Tebos do now that Lickle doesn't have DRS? Has he got the pace to make a move on Lickle in a straight line? I would love to see Matt Tebos in the podium. That would be incredible. But I think that is a long shot, unless of course penalties will let him onto the podium. I'm not sure what the penalty count is. That's something I would like to check. Let's have a quick look at Lickle's penalty count. He's not got one, so you might as well throw that out the window. Neither does Matt Tebos. So neither driver there with penalties, so it's going to have to be a clean move on the circuit. But his chances are beginning to disappear, and with that we need to go to one man who's controlled this race from the front with ease. He's got Lewis behind him in second, and Lewis 1.7 now behind him. Well, has he just had a pace advantage over Michael from that lowly starting position? I'm not sure. Has Michael taken it easy? Quite possibly. He's been allowed to take it easy. He has totally dominated this Grand Prix. He made the move on Cliffy at the start. He never looked back. Michelangelo is going to win here at Monza. He wins the Italian Grand Prix. The Greek god is a winner. He beats Lewis to cut the championship lead and continue that brilliant battle between the pair all season long. Lewis is second. It's going to be Lickle who gets that podium in third. It was unsure who was going to get it with a few laps to go, but it was him to beat Matt Tibos home in 4th. It's Me is 5th. Cliffy ends up down in 6th. What a horrible race for him, down 5 places from his starting position. Oh dear. No way. that sums up his race. He's 7th. And Frisky CJ, barely even in the race, not even in contention at all at any point, is going to come home down in 8th. But I've got to ask you guys watching to give us who you believe should be the driver of the day. Well, there's certainly not any of those guys that retired, that's for sure. Absolutely not. You got to look at Michael, superb performance. You got to look at Lewis, all those positions he gained during that Grand Prix, up 6 places from where he started. Lickle with a good charge through the field as well. Matt Tibos as well. Is it Matt you get your driver of the day? What about It's Me? I mean, he put his wheel on the gravel. That might have compromised his driver of the day chances. Even Lickleblock's got that front wing damage, of course, as well, that ruined his race, and he still brought it home in the podium. So a big mention to Lickle as well for a potential driver of the day. And maybe that is why I might give it to him. I mean, it'd be hard on Matt Tibos, wouldn't it, not to give it to him? But I'm going to read the comments and have a look what people have said. But before I do that, let's just talk you through the podium ceremony. There he is, Michelangelo. There's the winning car on the top step at the greatest podium of them all. The Italian Grand Prix at Monza, round 12 of the championship, has been won by the Greek god. He bites back against Lewis in this World Championship battle. It looks like it's one that's going to go right to the wire. It's the Greek god who wins the Italian Grand Prix. Well done to him. It was Lewis 2nd and Lickleblock's in 3rd. There is your full results then of the Italian Grand Prix. Michelangelo winning, and Lewis picked up 6 seconds worth of penalties in the end. He was never threatened, was Michael. It was 3rd position for, of course, Lickleblock, who has now turned up as Esteban Ocon, as you can see. Matt Tibos, he was 4th, great drive from him. It's Me in 5th. You'll be wondering what he has to do to get onto that podium. Cliffy, he was 6th. Toro Rosso was home in 7th. Who was in that Toro Rosso again? Oh, can't forget. It was Nowak, of course. And Frisky CJ was the last of the finishers in 8th. A race of attrition here at Monza. And a few drivers will be taking a visit to the stewards, I feel, after that one. But now it's time to read the comments briefly before we go and have a quick look at what you guys think would be the driver of the day. I mean, Liam Robertson, he said Matt Tibos for driver of the day. Paul thinks it's between Matt and Callum as well. So, a tough one to judge, but I think Lickle as well deserves a big mention. I'm going to give it to Matt Tibos, but a big mention to Lickle and Lewis as well. I mean, they did really well coming through the field, especially with that damage for Lickleblock as well. But Matt Tibos, for me, great 4th place for him. He is my driver of the day. Anyway, that's all from me, folks. The World Cup, of course. Be sure to tune into that. Or you could do something better than that. You could tune into ILR2 at 7 o'clock. Brazil v Switzerland, who cares? ILR2 is coming up pretty soon, 7 PM. Be sure to tune into that one. I'm sure I will, so I bet you should as well. ILR2 coming up for the Italian Grand Prix. Not only that, next week we'll see you for Singapore. Same time, 5:30, ILR1 for the Singapore Grand Prix. And yeah, that's all from me. Hopefully Jamie will be back next week and we'll get a little bit from the man from Utah. We'll see what he's got to say. I don't know where he is. He was at E3, last I heard. I don't know what he's doing now, but hopefully we can get Jamie back in the comm box for Singapore next week. But yep, that's all from me. Well done to Michael. He cuts the lead to Lewis in the championship, and we'll see you in Singapore. Good night.